Comrades and friends, welcome to the program Global Weekly News, serial number 148. First item, China condemns US for imposing tariffs on Haiti. While claiming to support the Haitian people, the US has significantly cut foreign aid and continued to deport Haitian immigrants just when Haiti urgently needs support. Zheng Xuang, China's deputy permanent representative to the United Nations, said on 21st April at the Security Council. What is also even more shocking is that they also recently extended their so-called 10% basic tariff to Haiti, one of the least developed countries in the world. Zhang said, China is deeply concerned about the worsening crisis in Haiti and the rampant gang violence, the near collapse of the state and the desperate situation of the people. In February and March, 1,086 people were killed, 383 more injured, and more than 60,000 were forcefully displaced. Since December of last year, 60 lakh people have been displaced. Cholera outbreaks and gender-based violence, especially in places of displacement, are widespread. Insecurity has closed 39 health facilities and more than 900 schools in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, Zheng reported. For more than a century, US has shamelessly mobilized troops, installed puppet governments, and manipulated the Haitian constitution, meddling in the country's political affairs. The Americans have always been the main source of weapons. Haiti's future should not be sacrificed for the sake of US pursuing its own strategic interests. Second item, comrades, US right-wing attempts to silence solidarity with Palestine. Since taking office in January, the Trump administration has launched major attacks against the constitutionally protected right to free speech and solidarity with Palestine. Student activists such as Mahmoud Khalil, Mohsen Madhavi, and Rumeisa Vosturk continue to languish in immigration and customs enforcement detention centers, and the Trump administration has only escalated attacks on pro-Palestine students at institutions such as Harvard University. Senator Chuck Grassley has called on the Trump administration to investigate anti-imperialist and left-wing movement organizations Cody Fink and People's Forum. Grassley accuses the organizations of reported connections with the Chinese government and advancing policies in favor of the Communist Chinese government. The People's Forum has responded to these accusations are not only false, but part of a dangerous escalation to crush dissent, target activists, and silence peace and anti-war movements. The arrest of students protesting the Gaza genocide, the revocation of over 1,000 student visas, and intimidation of universities show the broader assault by the Trump administration. Both the People's Forum and Code Pink have been leading organizations in the Palestine solidarity movement in the United States. Third item, comrades, discussions between Iran and US advances. In 2015, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, was signed between Iran and 6 other countries. In 2018, during his first term in office, Donald Trump unilaterally withdrew from this agreement and imposed sanctions on Iran. Ongoing indirect talks with the United States over Iran's nuclear program is advancing, Iran's foreign minister confirmed. The sides will begin their technical meetings at the expert level on 23rd April. Second round of talks were held in Rome on 19th April. The expert level meetings will be followed by the third round of talks in Muscat, Oman on 26th April. First round of talks were held in Muscat on 12th April. Iran's central objective in the indirect negotiations with the US is the termination of all sanctions. Iran is seeking assurance that past negative experiences will not be repeated. Iran is in regular contact with all the other signatories of the JCPOA, including its European countries, the United Kingdom, France and Germany. They also threatened sanctions against Iran and playing unconstructive role. The International Atomic Energy Agency chief accused Iran is at the verge of making nuclear weapons. Iran has always denied it has any intention to develop nuclear weapons. Iran is in contact with Russia and China, signatories of the JCPOA. Iran, China and Russia, in a coordinated move, can take effective steps towards international peace. Fourth item, comrades. The fourth item is Colombian movements condemn assassination attempt against peasant leader. Social and political movements in Colombia have strongly condemned the assassination attempt against Ernesto Roa, a renowned social and peasant leader in the country. Roa was shot several times on the night of 22nd April near his home by unidentified gunmen. The peasant leader was then rushed to a local hospital where he received treatment and is currently in recovery. Robo is the spokesperson of the political movement of social and popular masses, a platform of organizations of peasants, youth, women and human rights defenders, and was previously the president of the National Agrarian Coordinator, a national platform of peasant organizations in Colombia. Roa has been constantly targeted and stigmatized for his work in demanding the rights of communities by some national and regional media outlets, journalists, right-wing politicians and officials. Colombian ruling class is a threat to Robo's life. The demand for dismantling of paramilitary structures is reignited. Alba movement declared in its statement, peace cannot be negotiated with bullets. Peace is built with social justice, with real investment in the region. Fifth item, comrades, demonstrations on April 25th in solidarity with Gaza. Demonstrations have been planned for April 25 by pro-Palestine organizations around the world in a day of solidarity with Gaza. Several mobilizations have been planned across North America, called for by the Palestinian Youth Movement and other organizations, including a protest in front of the US Consulate in Montreal, as well as demonstrations at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in New York City, San Francisco, in addition to several other cities. A demonstration will also take place outside the US Embassy in London. Many organizations called on people across the US and Canada to mobilize to demand an arms embargo against Israel and immediate and permanent end to the genocide. Organizations across Latin America have conducted demonstrations before US embassies. Sixth item, comrades. Palestinian resistance leaders arrested in Syria. Syrian security forces arrested two top resistance leaders affiliated with the Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Syria's capital Damascus on 20th April. The military wing of Palestinian Islamic Jihad explained in a statement that Syria's interim government did not clarify the reasons for the arrest. Syria has always been a haven for loyal and free people. Palestinian Islamic Jihad further urged the Al-Sagara administration to release its detained leaders. The detention of Palestinian Islamic Jihad leaders came 2 weeks after the U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary provided Syria's Minister of Foreign Affairs a list consisting of 8 demands for lifting the sanctions on Syria. One of the demands stipulates banning all Palestinians' armed and political activities and deporting members of Palestinian groups to ease Israeli concerns. The recent developments in Syria have for many made clear that for the U.S., security and stability means guaranteeing free reign for Israel to wreak havoc in countries across the region with no response or resistance. Al-Sara appears to have understood this equation and has consequently chosen to wave the white flag before Israel despite its recurrent assaults against Syria. Seventh item, comrades. Palestine solidarity protests in Morocco. The international movement for an arms embargo against Israel grows as protests in Morocco successfully developed the docking of Nexo Maersk, that is ship name. Over 1,000 protesters took to the streets of Tangier, Morocco on 20th April protesting the docking of the ship Maersk in the Moroccan port city. This comes the same week that the same ship was delayed at the port of Casablanca for 39 hours due to similar protests. This comes after Moroccan dock workers issued a call to action to boycott the Nexo Maersk ship following reports that the vessel would be carrying military equipment to Israel. Demonstrators in Tangier chanted slogans such as "No genocidal weapons in Moroccan waters," and the people when they want the ship banned. Across the world, organizations in solidarity with Palestine have called for a boycott of Danish shipping giant Maersk for its role in bringing weapons to Israeli forces carrying out genocide in Gaza. Eighth item, comrades. Congolese activists decry U.S. Congo mineral deal. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, a country endowed with some of the world's most coveted minerals, continues to be at the heart of global geopolitical interests. As M23 rebels continue to gain ground in the eastern provinces of the Congo, the government appears to be inching closer to a controversial deal with the U.S. security assistance in exchange for strategic mineral access. Trump administration officials told the press that negotiations continue. At the center of these unfolding negotiations is Eric Prince, founder of the notorious private military company Blackwater and a close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump. According to a report published by Reuters on 17th April, Prince is brokering an agreement that could position him to oversee the security and taxation of mineral extraction in the mineral-rich nation. M23, the rebel group, is accused of operating with the backing of neighboring Rwanda and Uganda, both of whom have enjoyed U.S. military and political support over the years. Why should Congo go to the US, who for all intents and purposes, they are the ones arming, training and equipping the Rwandan and Ugandan militaries? Foreign interventions have done nothing for years. The geopolitical tensions and interests vying for control over critical minerals only intensify the internal contradictions of Congo. Patrice Lumumba's assassination in 1961 at the hands of Western-backed conspirators marked the beginning of decades of resource extraction at the exposure of national sovereignty. Today, in 2025, the echoes of Lumumba's dream still haunt the Congo, that its land belongs to its people, not to corporations, multinationals or foreign armies. In stark contrast, the Sahel region is witnessing a resurgence of popular anti-imperialist politics. Countries like Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have rejected French and Western military partnerships, opting instead to nationalize resource control and assert regional autonomy. They are following Nkrumah's ideas. Comrades and friends, 9th item, US Philippines joint military exercises. The US growing involvement in military exercises near the South China Sea threatens peace and stability in the region, claimed China on 21st April. Over 14,000 armed personnel, 9,000 US and 5,000 Filipino soldiers, along with hundreds of others from Australia, Japan, Britain, France and Canada, began participating in an annual Balighatan military exercises in the Philippines on 21st April. Dozens of other US allies are participating as observers of the exercises, which will go on until May 9 for 3 weeks. China and the Philippines have conflicting claims over certain islands in the South China Sea. The Philippines military official said that the exercises are purely for the Philippines defense. Successive US administrations have expressed the desire to intervene militarily in the region if China tries to take hold of Taiwan militarily, despite US professing adherence to the One China policy. The US has deployed warships and increased its military presence in the region, holding multiple exercises with its allies, such as South Korea, each year, allegedly to counter threats from China. China has underlined that such a provocative display of military process threatens regional peace and stability in the region. 10th item, comrades, movement against Trump's agenda grows. Protests in over 80 cities united various sectors protesting a wide array of Trump administration's policies, from mass deportations for federal government slashing to genocide in Gaza. April 19 marked a national day of action. Over 80 protests took place in various cities across the US in actions called by newly formed group 50501, which is to represent 50 protests, 50 states and one movement. The organization was formed online from a forum on the website. The protests were joined by the United Immigrant Communities, Organized Labor, the Movement in Solidarity with Palestine and many others. Demonstrators gathered in front of the White House, many carrying Palestinian flags with signs reading "Due Process" and "Stop Arming Israel." In Chicago, over 1,000 people marched against Trump's policies. In Denver, Colorado, thousands also marched holding signs that trans rights are human rights. Transgender people have human rights. Demonstrators in New Jersey called on the Trump administration to bring home Kilmer Abrego Garcia, a Maryland worker who the Trump administration refuses to bring back to the US from El Salvador, where he is being held in prison despite admitting that his deportation stemmed from an administrative error. Organizers estimate that 50,000 people were in attendance at a demonstration in New York City that focused on immigrant rights on Earth Day under the slogan, "Protect migrants, protect the planet." These latest actions follow the protests that occurred across the country on 5th April. Lastly, comrades, Brazil, Venezuela joint food project. Venezuela's government used to import 85% of the food consumed locally. When the US government imposed sanctions on the Venezuelan oil sector and restricted it from financial markets in 2017 to 19, food imports drastically declined. The country faced food shortages. Members of Brazil's landless rural workers movement have been working shoulder to shoulder with the peasants in Venezuela for the last several months on a project to expand food production in Venezuela. The great project was announced by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in September 2024 and seeks to develop 180,000 hectares for food production. Among the crops they will produce are beans, fruit, papaya, sugarcane, yams, vegetables and corn, as well as chicken, pork, beef and its derivatives. Last salam, comrades. See you next week. Thank you.